morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Communal classes erupt in Janakpur over Chhath celebration. Prohibitory order extended till Tuesday night. CPN unified Socialist Populist Party statue. The party to force unity with other parties with similar ideology. Tukuche avalanche injures 11 people, human casualty averted due to the chores in between. US conceals military strike that killed dozens in Syria, defends the 2019 attack as legitimate move. And Australia crossed New Zealand to win maiden T20 title. Mitchell Mars hit 77 runs to help Aussies secure the title. And now the news in detail. The prohibitory order enforced in Janakpur Dham of Janakpur district following the clash between two communities has been extended till Tuesday night. Chief District Officer of Janakpur, Bandhu Prasad Bastola, said that the prohibitory order in Janakpur Dham Sub-Metropolitan City 20 has been extended till 10 p.m. Tuesday. A heated dispute ensued between the Hindu and Muslim communities during the Chhath festival in Janakpur Dham 20 on Saturday. Following the incident, the prohibitory order was enforced the same day. CDO Bastola said that the extension of prohibitory order was for maintaining peace and security by thwarting the onward incident in the locality. The second meeting of the CPN Unified Socialist has decided to issue an inter-party directive along with work division of the Central Committee. The meeting held under the chairmanship of Party Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal yesterday also decided to publish the party statute and regulation and to hold talks with different political groups and individuals. Issuing a press note after the completion of two-day meeting on Sunday, the party's publicity department chief Jagannath Khatioda informed that efforts were underway to forge unity with another political parties having similar ideology. During the meeting, Khatioda also presented the role played by party leaders in the government. A massive avalanche occurred at Tukuche Peak in Mustang district yesterday morning, which left 11 people injured. Most of them were students and teachers injured in the stampede. A major catastrophe, however, was averted as the jars lying in between the peak and human settlement acted as a barrier. More than 100 households were at risk of a major disaster, said Ward Chair of Thasang Rural Municipality 2, Nahar Prasad Hirachan, who also witnessed the avalanche. According to the state-owned national news agency RSS, Hirachan shared that the avalanche occurred at around 11:40 am yesterday. Avalanches at the Tukuche Peak continued till the evening, worrying the locals. Crops in the field, cattle shed and crops kept for drying in open spaces were damaged by the avalanche. Yaks and also killed in the avalanche. Some locals shielded themselves in huge rock while some saved themselves from the disaster hiding in corners, RSS reported, citing a local Lal Bahadur Gurung. Over 160 students, teachers and staffers of Janadarsa Amar Singh Secondary School in the lower part of the human settlement saved themselves by hiding inside the school, said school principal Khem Gurung. According to Gurung, 5 of them were officially injured while 2 referred for further treatment. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 291 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 816,966, while the number of active cases has dropped to 7,215. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,477 after the virus claimed 6 more lives yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 46 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 47.91 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 34.43 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 254.01 million people across the world and claimed over 5.11 million lives. And now the news from economic front. Nepal Rashtra Bank yesterday issued a fresh directive to the bank and financial institutions by amending the Integrated Directive 2077 BS to address the liquidity crunch faced by the financial institutions. The central bank said that the directive issued on October 20 was further revised and made systematic in regard to the interest rate. Prior to this, the BFIs were allowed to change maximum of 10% interest rate of the bank deposit as compared to the rate released in the previous month. As per the recent update, the BFIs can only exchange minimum of 10% in the interest rate in average except for call deposit by calculating the average and minimum interest rate released in the previous month. If the spread rate was more than the given cap, the other rates should be adjusted by making a basis either to the maximum and minimum interest rate. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. The US military covered up 2019 air raids in Syria that killed as many as 64 women and children, a possible war crime, during the battle against ISIS, the New York Times reported on Saturday. The two back-to-back air attacks near the town of Baghuz were ordered by the classified American Special Operation until tasked with ground operation in Syria, according to the report. The newspaper said that U.S. Central Command, which oversaw U.S. air operation in Syria, acknowledged the attacks for the first time this week and said they were justified. In a statement on Saturday, Central Command reiterated the account it gave the newspaper that 80 people were killed in the attacks, including 16 IS fighters and 4 civilians. The military said it was unclear if the other 60 people were civilians, partly because women and children could have been combatants. In Saturday's statement, the military said the attacks were legitimate, self-defense, proportional, and that appropriate steps were taken to rule out the presence of civilians. The number of civilians among the 60 fatalities could not be determined because multiple armed women and at least one aimed child were observed. In video of the events, it said, adding that the majority of the 60 were likely combatants. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Australia powered to an 8-wicket victory over New Zealand to win the men's T20 World Cup for the first time. Mitchell Marsh blundered a precious 77 not out from 50 balls as Australia overhauled what appeared to be a challenging 173 with 7 deliveries to spare in Dubai. The all-rounder shared a dominant stand of 92 with open David Warner and continued to attack after the opener was bowled for 53 from 38 balls. Marsh was dropped on 68 but at the stage that only 15 runs were needed from 19 balls, the highest chase in a men's T20 World Cup final a near certainty. After Glenn Maxwell hit the winning runs, Marsh was mobbed by his teammates and dropped to his knees, overcome with emotion having produced his finest 2020 innings on the biggest stage. New Zealand, now beaten in 3 consecutive white ball finals, were arguably favourites at the halfway stage after Kane Williamson 85 from 48 balls in a total of 172 on a slow pitch. But it was Australia unfinanced before the tournament who centred home to join Australia women as T20 world champions. Fulham striker Alexander Mitrovic scored a dramatic late winner in Serbia, booked their place as next year's World Cup and condemned Portugal to playoffs. Host Portugal only needed a draw to qualify and looked to have done enough, with Renato Sanchez's opener cancelled out by Dusan Tadic's equaliser. The home side let their concentration slip in the final second and Mitrovic pulled away from his marker to meet Tadic's tip ball and send a downward header into the back of the net. The goal prompted wild celebration among the Serbian players, while the Portuguese team stood in disbelief with the home crowd silenced. Elsewhere, Alvaro Morata's late goal helped Spain qualify for the 2022 World Cup and consigned Sweden to the playoffs. Sweden goalkeeper Robin Olsen tipped Danny almost shot onto the crossbar with Moratas on hand to tap the ball in after 86 minutes. Luis Enrique's side needed just a point to top Group B, while Sweden needed to finish above their opponents. The result means Spain have qualified for the 12th consecutive World Cup finals. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Communal clashes erupt in Janakpur over Chhath celebration, prohibitory order extended till Tuesday night. CPN Unified Socialist to publish party statue, the party prefers unity with other parties with similar ideology. Tukuchi avalanche injures 11 people, human casualty averted due to the jars in between. US conceals military strike that killed dozens in Syria, defends the 2019 attack as legitimate move. And Australia crossed New Zealand to win maiden T20 title. Mitchell Marsh hit 77 runs to help Aussies secure the title. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.